Sulla on päätallennus. Joo. Ja säkin saat sen. Alright, sit saa mennä. Kiitos.
Okay, let's see. Here we go. Well, of course we're gonna go with ends. This seems a little bit familiar from the hltv.org. See, it's serious, multi-round. So you're setting for the plays, different kinds of plays. I take it's the we're trying to predict the best players. Or see? Oh yeah. I think there should be some like hover over explanation for the things you're selecting here. Let's hope it's gonna be ends. And I would prefer that once you've made the selection, it would go straight back to the deck. Speeds it up a little bit, then you have to use a little bit less clicks. And the multi-round kinda, I'm guessing here what it's gonna mean. Yeah, so basically you're having the explanation of the cards, but my gaze usually goes here when you're selecting something. So it's about kind of like placing the explanation of the the explanation on certain places where the player or the player will usually looks at first. Okay, let's see if I remember correctly. Ariel was fire on this one. Let's see. Okay, we got the deck build. Start match. So in this phase it reminds me a little bit of the Magic the Gathering kind of situation. I guess you're using the cards like in real time. I don't know. Okay, let's see. I'd prefer that the when you're looking at the game, they should be well, the whole screen should be used in a way to view the whole game. All these views for the crowd and stuff like that is a little bit too extra, and especially if you're not having like the widest or the biggest screen. I think the audience and the boxes are using too much space, in my opinion. And well, I guess when it becomes more familiar, I'll check on the cards faster, but now when the cards were shown, I didn't have the time to check on those, but okay. Oh, I'm 8. Oh. yeah. So basically we're kinda playing as a team. We who cheer for Ents, I guess. Ah, you can change here, okay. Let's see. Ah, yeah, so it's not live. Well, if it would be live there, I don't know, like when you change the cards, there should be a little bit more time, or you should be able to do a lot faster. So the UI doesn't, at the moment, feel that you would be able to change the cards when the rounds change, because I think it's like 20 seconds time, and well, of course I'm not familiar with all the cards, but at the moment, like changing the cards to get the best score feels a little bit hard. I like the what it's called, like meter on the bottom of the screen which tells you like how the crowd is feeling, and I guess the cards affect that also. Like Axe. Basically now I know that I kind of used or got the card from these, like the headshot by aerial before and stuff like that. I think you should be able to check on those during the round, because they disappear quite fast, and if you're having a long round, then you might wanna plan your next round or the use of the card. So like there could be some kind of hover over kind of thing, where you can hover your mouse over the card you got, and like check which kind of cards have been used or like earned on the round. Like this, like a small icon somewhere over the screen that you could check on those. Because like getting a little bit anxious when there's gonna be the gun round next round, and I know that I have 270 points, but like which cards have been used this round and what kind of cards I could be using on the next round is a little bit, that interests me a lot. Let's see. So you can change this. See. And I think there should be an option to check like which card have given you the most points during the whole match. Yeah, like when you check the cards, I don't know. Well, there's gonna be, this is for the whole series, but for the what's round? Is is there an option for the like just for the map? Because there could be a little bit more options for that, because like that was a fast round and you could play cards like the round only lasts 30 seconds or something like that. So a little bit more options.
Yeah, because that was the one big benefit, I guess. But the flashbangs were pretty good. It's like they were flashed and all the way unflashed, and nothing even happened. Good Molotov there to block off one of the smokes. I think it's going to create maybe a tiny gap, maybe.
No, I don't know if it would be too difficult to do, but like when there's a smoke mist, so you could get penalty points for the team, like in situation when they fuck up a smoke or team flash or something like that. Or maybe you could play those kinds of cards for the both teams. Even though if I would be cheering for ENCE, I might be hoping that Vitality does some mistakes, and if I played those kind of cards, the Vitality fans would get like points losses and something like that. Like high risk, high reward kind of cards. And kinda now I feel that, well, you're watching a game, and I can imagine not all people would like to do something during the rounds, but I would definitely be checking on the cards. Like I would be interested in seeing what kind of cards the other people cheering for ENCE have played or are playing, and what kind of cards the Vitality fans are playing. And in that kind of situation, when you would be able to see what kind of cards the opposing team is playing, you could do those high risk, high reward kind of plays. Like if Vitality fans would be playing a card that Vitality wins the round in 30 seconds, you could be playing a card that it's gonna be a long round, or ENCE wins after this and this amount of time passed. And it would be interesting to see that which are the overall top cards for the rounds and for the whole match.
Not so hard, because you have to then figure out
And yeah, the more I watch this, the more I feel that the UI of the game uses the screen space too much. And when you've played the game yourself, you're constantly looking up the scoreboard for some sort of information and just check things. There should be that kind of ability for this game also. Like, you should be on top of things all the time and be able to check the things yourself. And there could be some kind of statistics shown during the rounds also. Like you can see the ADR and KAD and stuff like that on the stream UI, but like live counter for the KDR and ADR and like headshot percentage and stuff like that would be really interesting, and that would also add a feature that you would play the cards with. And of course it would be a little bit difficult to do, but some sort of like, even with the delay, it would be really interesting. And if I remember correctly, this game was casted by Finnish casters also. And one thing I've been dying to have is that you could be able to change the language or even if it's same language, the different casters sound better in different kinds of situations. So you shouldn't have to like change the whole stream when you want to change the casters. I imagine that would be really hard to do, but the option for that would be really awesome. Yeah, well, the animation on when the tables are turning is kind of cool, but then again, it uses a lot of space. I've actually forgotten what this meant. So basically, mouse over explanation tooltip would be really good on this also. I'm guessing this means that I'm not liking the situation. And did this actually mean that why can't I change this? No idea. So totally forgot how I gain these. Well, I remember this didn't turn out well. Yeah. Damn. But yeah, even the cards don't say that. Or like, how do I gain these? No idea. Cheer points. Okay. It's cost based. So basically, this means I'm earning one. Maybe. This is self-explanatory, but I don't know. Yeah. But like, I don't know if the reason for this is kind of like to replace the chat or something like that, or have some kind of feature which would involve the crowd virtually. But I actually rather have like some sort of chat window and more screen space for the game itself than have this much space used to the animated crowd. Especially when like all the animation is quite repetitive, and there's not that much going on there. Maybe if there would be, I don't know, some things to do down here also, but now it just uses a lot of space. Fuck yeah, I'm gonna root for Alex.
So far they're not really giving much of anything. Apex, the only really likely target I think at 29 health. He's getting impatient. It looks like he's got surgery.
And in this kind of clutch situations, it would be nice to have some sort of statistics from the current players' success in these kinds of like 1 versus 3 situations, and like information which you could base your hopes on, so to say. And I really feel that there's a lot of cards missing here. It's really hard to come up with what kind of cards I would be playing, but there's still a lot of more options. But yeah, some sort of clutch situation view or something like that would be really good. Like you could see the heads-up percentage or the success rate in clutch situations and that kind of things. And in that kind of situations, it would be really nice to have some sort of pop-up and really fast options that if you think that the current player being in the clutch situation, would he be winning the situation or losing, like in the case of Alex playing against 3 persons, there should be option that is Alex gonna win this clutch situation or not, or something like that, and it could affect the crowd situation. Oh, almost falling off the screen.
They're not going to come out here, or if they're going to be behind that wall of smokes, then we'll just do something else. That's the chess match. Just who adjusts first. They move Zaru, or does that change their point of attack? But again, these wall of smokes, they're at least trying to disguise. Like, there's no information on how many people are floating behind those smokes. This time it's just very previously we've seen a couple players, 3 players, 4 players. Alex again with his flank. He's got to be.
And is the crowd noise actually coming from here?
He just narrowly misses his opportunity.
I guess it's. That was disgusting grenade.
NBK gonna go down. There's 2 people on the other side. Spraying him through, so it's an unfair fight. Cyber wants to. He really wanted to go and check that, but
No, yeah, it's coming from here.
away from that position.
That's a nice feature.
I really enjoy watching Sergey in that lobby swapping out to the M4
And
like Sergey can't get the ball.
I don't know if there should be some kind of coordination between the crowd that in these kinds of situations, I guess the Vitality fans would be clicking on the cheering button a lot of times, but how could the fans see that there's somebody cheering a lot? Some way to like coordinate the team effort of the crowd would be kind of good. Maybe the chat option would help with that, but I don't know. But having a chat window in this space, I guess, would make the whole space on the screen feel a little bit cluttered.
So just slowly walking into his crosshair. He just wasn't even ready for it. You could see mentally he was just thinking about something else. A 6th round on the board now for Nets. Well, it's frustrating. That's what makes the play from Sergey so strong. As we saw, BK, he was on top of the hunt originally. Yeah. That's a very powerful position. But once his teammates start dying, then he has to start considering, I need to be in a position where I can rotate. I need to be in a position where I can't be seen from midi, so I have to drop off the hut because I need to be safe from one of these angles.
Also, like,
It's a pretty open game
I don't
still.
know if it's supposed to,
6 rounds for Nets. Pretty good start. Things looking decent.
if that's supposed to, like, be able to build actual minds.
Now I'm
Still turn this around.
quite fixated on the game now, so I feel that these options should be placed. I'm not saying they should be placed on the, like on the middle of the screen, but you're really watching only the area where the game is going on. So basically having these here might not be the best place, but kind of if you would be having the statistic window or something like that, placing these near those would be the best option in my opinion. And like I'm hardly noticing these numbers because like, and to be honest, I'm not that interested in on these numbers. But these feel, it was like 1,800 a couple of seconds ago. I don't know why it changes that much. It's not looking good. Okay, now the crowd is moving, but like, is this due to the cheering with this, or is it because of the situation on the game, or like now it's really not know about what these numbers mean. Well, with cheering noises and that kinds of stuff, the sound isn't that fluid, so it feels and sounds really artificial. So, and I know it might be a work in progress, but it kind of cuts into your ears a little bit. Ah, so these are like different kinds of noises.
Alex is up there behind the container, throwing a grenade that could take him down. The spam afterwards. Yes. I know. Years ago, looked at all of the boxes on you.
So there basically is some kind of indication that if somebody's using those, I guess. Let's see. I'll try to join the crowd when that happens again. Ah.
That's very confusing.
You go, dude.
Overall, like the UI.
Ouch.
There are numbers going on, and I don't know what they mean.
Trying to sneak through Cyber with one more headshot to take down Alu. Now he's breaking the AK-47, going to return a little bit of a fire through. Bond though is on X7. He has a smoke and a Molotov and a bunch of other grenades, and Cyber's got no armor. So you would think that this is going to be tilted somewhat heavily in favor of X7 as soon as he gets the bomb down. Odds even further increase in his favor. Cyber's not sure if he's being faked out. Now he definitely knows that he's going to go straight for the bomb line X7.
And no, but should the cards be kind of more like player based, that you could be able to choose like two different cards for certain players? but there wouldn't be like there would be one-time use cards, basically like well, wins 1 versus 1 clutch situation. So I should be able to choose that who of the players would be doing that kind of thing and winning the last round or having the most kills or something like that. And those would be one-time use only. Like copying the Fantasy League of HLTV.org would be really good option.
I wish I could get reactions of Apex
It's kind of
just to face camps.
like if the idea is actually to be able to
And I feel that there should be a little bit more action during the rounds with the cards also. Because using the so yeah.
like without any
So I
mistakes, it's
guess I got
just boring.
these cards. Oh, let's see. Oh yeah. Ah yeah, there's gonna be a lot of more cards, but just don't have them. Where's the damage? Well, I'm guessing it's gonna be. Oh yeah. So I got this card only for Aerial. Okay. The amounts of energy you get from the cards is a little bit out of balance because all of the players might get headshots during rounds, but not all the players usually defuse the bombs. It really depends on the situations and the clutch situations and stuff like that. So maybe defusing a bombs earn a little bit more energy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Ensign Vitality playing on Nuclear, a best of 3 game in the 2-0 bracket.
Yeah.
To the playoffs. That's going to be exciting all on its own. Right now, I don't know. I mean, it's a great first half for Ensign. Really solid, really strong, but I don't think they've put Vitality quite in the great yet.
I don't have
They
the
can still come out, you know, Jason
damn.
Voorhees, Hockey mask on, machete, hunting teenagers, trying to have sex, stuff like that. Those what those was about really
So it's just me using that. I think that you should only have the clapping ground effect when there's more than just one person clapping.
But I don't see that I have like all of you. Over here, so it's facility.
Cyber on the other side, X7, I can understand why he wanted to follow that up. That looked absolutely beautiful. Apex now, trapping Sergey in the corner and able to pick him up, screwing out the weapon quickly, and now it's a 2-on-2. What an intense way to get the second half started.
Two Ensign players out of position. Lexi's going to have to come up with that. Allen's flanking from along the side, planting.
And here again, like the name of the place would be nice.
Yeah, in this kind of situation, it would be really fun to see that. What's the opinion of the crowd that which of the sides would be winning the 2 versus 2 situation?
Now it still might be. Oh, and they even have a smoke as well. He's going to have to just guess it. He's got no health at all. If they guess right through the smoke, he's done. He's thinking about it. A little bit of a chance there, doing the damage. Now they're body blocking it. A bit of a punch-out situation, and Alu will finally take him down, and it will be ends to pick up a round. What an incredible situation.
No, nice. But kind of this view, there's a lot of going on if you want to check your score against other players and where did you get the energies and like the top cards. But the time already ran out, so basically if you're in this view, should all the information shown on the the between rounds should be shown here, and you could be able to kind of switch the information screen on and off by yourself, because some rounds you definitely don't want to check the or you don't need to check the score screen. So basically, if I would be pressing the tab or some button of my choice, I would be able to see all the score from the cards I played and what's the overall situations between the crowd and stuff like that. It would be kind of there would be a sense of being in more control of the game. That wasn't good. Yeah, and again, in that kind of situation when there's the clutch situation, if you chose correctly that which of the sides would be winning, you could lose or gain points. Like odds 1 against 3, you would be getting triple the points if you win, and you might end up even losing the points if you chose the wrong option.
I mean, if not for that grenade and sort of taking down Sergei Rybkin, I think even just a couple of seconds that buys could make a huge difference.
And in now when it's the half time's already passed and we're getting to the end zone, so to speak, information on like how the teams usually have fared on this kind of situation on this current map overall, and that sort of information would be really good. Sometimes the casters explain the percentage or tell about the statistics, but not always, and usually in that kind of situations where the information isn't that useful.
I really don't care for the currency, so I'd rather just have an option to have the game a bit bigger and the shares and chats and whatever.
Yeah, maybe there should be some kinds of logos used on the cards, because now on a glimpse you can see the player related to the card, but you don't have the time to read through the explanations and what's been happening and that sort of things. And especially when the cards are placed here in the far left corner and like not here. if the icons, logos, or the
Also,
information about the cards would be placed here during the rounds, it would be a lot better, and you could see what's happening just by one glimpse.
15 seconds before he starts even moving closer alongside Harry.
feedback, yeah.
early spot. Sees sheer numbers of ends pushing outside. They're unstoppable.
At least then it was optimistic.
Hands of nothing valuable.
Because that gives you more sense.
There's the first, there's the second, a nice snap over. Ooh, that's even more beautiful. All 4 kills with the CZ.
Well, that's not good.
Showing off for the crowd. No one's laughing now.
Nobody's laughing now. That's 4 kills with the CC. And he knew, you can tell that he knew from the very first shot what he had to do.
And all the actions, the cheering, the screaming and stuff you're doing, okay, there's it's tied to the situation, but it would be nice to like select a player you're cheering in a certain situation. Like, okay, I'm not a fan of the animated crowd, but I could be able to choose name of the player and the clapping emote here, and there could be some kind of bubble that I'm cheering for that certain player, or booing for that player, or something like that. And if that would be seen by the whole crowd also, that would create the interaction between the whole crowd. Well, when you think that it would be basically like the Twitch chat with all the gifs and emotes and stuff like that, but if you're dead set on using the crowd, you should be using it a lot more fluidly, and the interaction should be more, I don't know, instant and tailored for the certain situations. Like now, I would like to cheer for the aerial. Just select aerial and click the cheer button, and there would be the what it's called, puhekupla here, saying that I'm cheering for aerial.
It's not the way you want your first up round to go if you're my time. Nobody fall audience.
And like during the rounds and this kind of tactical pauses, I would really love to see the information screen. I would have the time to check that what kind of cards I should be planning to play in the upcoming rounds, and what kind of cards the opposition has played and stuff like that. Again, to be more like in control of the game.
No, I kind of agree. I guess it's also bad news.
And that would be really good to time to like check on the statistics of the players and head to head with the teams and that sort of things.
Which obviously not true. I mean, there is so much talent on the team outside.
Yeah, and like
We've seen this kind of
I might sound a little bit statistics nerd, but that's the thing I'm interested in during the game. But like somebody might be interested in what kind of skills the players are using, the certain players are using, and I don't know. There's a lot of information you could be showing easily, which usually isn't acquired by the crowd or the people cheering for the teams. And again, like the placements of the action buttons, the right side corner might be the good place, but all the everything considering the information, like what's happening, my guess is usually fixated on the center of the screen. So like top center of the screen would be really, in my opinion, one of the best places to show the information regarding the cards.
They're hunting him down, but now is there going to be the backup? They're just going to try and swap it around upstairs for Apex, and that is actually the bomb going down. Cyber now, low time and 7 seconds.
Let's see.
That's a cool push in a lot of events because that
Likes his
decision making
consistent.
like yeah, you have a disadvantage in terms of not controlling position. Once you're forced to get aggressive before he wants to, the hit gets very disjointed. Anything goes down.
And again, I would have the time to like plan ahead and like imagine there would be some sort of league that best player gets a prize at the end of the match or at the end of the season, end of the tournament. This would be the time I'm doing like planning for the next games and seeing the statistics and that sort of things.
He's like the guy you want to bring on a vacation so that whenever something happens, you've got an Apex right there, right?
Yeah, maybe we could show them from on YouTube clips and even, that could be a whole concept series on its own. Aerial. Well,
Rough couple rounds.
yeah, really is.
It's kind of smoke in the last now he just gets banged out from across the map. Another great shot from Alex.
He had a scope and everything, right? Like he has all the advantages. He just doesn't
Yeah,
care.
but they go from 5k to 400. What does it mean? What do these numbers mean?
Could get the boy, that would be great if they could get the kill on Adam as well and steal 2 rifles. That would really be something. But
And now when I'm looking, I'm
at the moment,
again, I'm not paying attention for the whole crowd here, because like in these kinds of tense situations, you're like fixated on the game, and any other information feels like it disconnects you from the situation. Because I definitely would have liked to see all those kinds of situations, but and all the headshots I got there, but I don't have the time or the attention span to look around at what's happening on the crowd, and especially when all the action is down here, and I'm fixating on the stream itself. Well, that's a high reward. High risk card. Let's play that. Like, the tighter the situation and the more tense the situation is, the more I'm fixated on the game itself, and like I'm not bothered with the whole other stuff going on there. I'm definitely interested in it, in that how I'm doing the cards wise, but the crowd not that much. And maybe the crowd could be optional. Like if it's a boring game, I might fool around with the crowd, but like especially in the end zone when you're having a 10 to 12 score line, you want to see like how the game ends and only that.
Thinking about it, wants to pick it, but instead it's going to be MBK to take charge of that, but the Krugen just takes him down. Sergey needs to get the kill, and he did.
I hope
Now
I
the shot on MBK, no problem there.
check the Sergey card. Oh fuck.
And
Don't
now
have that one.
getting real close to winning this first map.
That's defense though. It's like
The way he should,
Should have had that one.
obviously you can see that's when they're rotating.
yeah,
It's
but
like
like just on
he's in a position where there's like one scenario that they can help each other out, not getting
And especially now when it's a tight situation, the interaction between the crowd of the opposition would be really fun. Usually in the Twitch chat there's huge flame wars going on, but like some sort of civilized way of taunting the enemy. Goddamn, should have had discard earlier. Not bad, but not good. I feel that I'm like getting less and less points towards the end.
This round, at least have somebody to work with, but it's
Does she's so like changing the costs between rounds doesn't use up any of the
I was
energy.
gonna say, as soon as you mentioned that it was like 11 to 10, it was a good game, back and forth, you were running away with it. I was just like, yeah,
And I'm saying it's a good thing.
it's right now.
they really did, didn't they? But it looks like Alex up on the vents up there at the T roof. That's usually where you will end up if you're going to be throwing molotovs onto the hut. Which suggests probably some kind of an execute timing.
Like, what is
See how they do.
causing the movement of the crowd?
So a victory here, and they're just kind of holding forward. Nothing too crazy.
And so also the team that took down Andrade finally.
I'm the only one clapping here.
We know that
Was it Fury that had the first one? I think that was a strange. I don't know. No, actually, it wasn't. You're
I
right.
have a feeling you're right, yeah. Oh, look at the molotov there. Mentioned it a couple
Like
seconds
again,
ago.
I thought
It's
he had
exciting
some
break,
going
but
on.
back up and
I
take down the RPKs. It's a
Such
huge
for-
difference. They try and chase him down the molotov. Oh, it's sideway.
found myself
Think about it.
actually wasn't there
Somehow the ref
actually instead of paying attention to what's going on there.
Alex is going to have a lot of space to work with. This is
Yeah,
Sergey.
give him,
Has nothing to do with this
thing.
right now.
Yeah.
Three players from Vitality meeting up in towards Gravity. What a tough decision. You got Sergey with the AK behind you. You got Alu with the EWP and the bomb set. Not sure where exactly he is. Alu can do so much damage. First shot is his. Flick not in. The follow-up, nope, nothing. But he's still alive, and somehow all the attention is on Alu. And it's a heroic effort just for him to live that long. And it's put Cyber in an impossible situation. A 15th round for Ensign. 5 chances to take the opening map.
Yeah, and
Man, Ends really making the most of the fact that some of those
in this kind of situation,
escaped the first fight.
maybe adding some kind of option that this is gonna be the last round or something like that. You could kind of invest your points on that kind of bets. I don't know if betting that kind of betting would be allowed due to the legislation,
That's
but
what I'm saying. Alex has looked very
would
crisp.
be
He's done some
fun.
very, very nice things for Vitality. Just unfortunately, this T side falling a little bit flat. Even though, despite I think it's this is one of those things that feels like it's a little bit closer, just because it feels like Vitality has had so many good opportunities, not able to close them out. So for all of there in that round, the jumping shot, BK is going to open things up with an entry.
Area again having a bunch of really tough beginnings. The opponent LFCB is going to be able to win this fight. Even if the smoke clears, there's so many people on the other side, it seems unlikely. And he's not going to know just how close they are. The smoke fades, and now he's going to see they group up in front of him, and he gets 2 big kills. Is that enough to make a difference? It's still a 2-on-3 right now. Look at Aldo. They're coming back out. They're not even checking for him. That's the bomb down. Alex, unaware that someone could have been in garage. And now they've got a great crossfire here. This could work out. X7 and Aldo.
Like, one game
Yeah.
it's not like
And okay, I earned experience points, rewards, but like, is there some sort of like end of the game information, like who did the best on your team and who did the best on the opposition sides, which were the best cards to be played on this kind of game? What was the average score every player got? Who used the most cheer points, and kind of like a summary of the game itself. Oh, can you explain your words how the well, I might be asking that have you ever played the HLTV Fantasy League game? And this is kind of like the real-time Fantasy League game. And basically for my friends who have been playing the Magic the Gathering, it's basically Fantasy League meets MTG in real time. But yeah, it's kind of like Fantasy League in real time would be in a nutshell. Well, the decision-making process, well, it's based on the statistics of the players and how what has been, how well they've played in the past, and what kind of players they play on certain maps. And of course, that's the information I was asking in the middle of the rounds, that there should be some sort of information, the statistics of the players, but maybe even information of the players themselves or the team themselves, that usually this and this player has been playing on the A side, or for this player the most kills have come from the secret or from the B side or something like that. I imagine that would be really hard to like gather and do, but yeah, the decisions were based on the the history and statistics of the players. Favorite cards? Well, of course the cards that gave the most points, the double kill and the headshots, but I feel that there should be more like high risk, high reward kind of cards, and more cards tailored for different kinds of role players. Like now you would be using the cards that are the same as bets, but for like a player who usually doesn't get any of the cards, but aids the team in other ways, like doing the flashes, or maybe having assisting kills, or delaying the pushes or something like that. It's really hard to make cards for those kind of players, but it'd be awesome if there would be an option for that. Favorite moment when playing, well, it was really fun, like seeing that your character on the crowd does these things, but it gets really old and really, I don't know, not boring, but I don't find use for that a lot. But it was really fun to like, well, everybody likes gathering experience and getting new cards, or like during the halftime when I got the team package or something like that, and new cards. That's always fun. Who would you recommend this product? Well, people who usually watch a lot of the matches and have some sort of basic information already, or even in-depth information, sort of semi to hardcore kind of fans. And maybe for persons who usually don't watch the streams or the games because they're really boring, those kinds of people would maybe find some interaction in the game and would enjoy the game more that way. Well, it really depends, like how it's gonna turn out. Like more cards, more control, like what kind of information and when you're seeing the information. And the biggest downfall for me was that the actual game screen is so small, and if you could turn the crowd on and off to like kind of see what's going on there, it would be really good. But now I guess I might not be using this one. The existing service, well, basically I watch the games through Twitch, and well, when I said about should there be chat or something like that, I have usually that turned off also, and I'd enjoy having the statistics and the information more than having any interaction between the crowd itself. But if there's some kind of option to have the interaction between the crowd, there should be more interaction than just having your own character doing stuff there. You should be able to see who the crowd is cheering for and I don't know. It's like it's doing a cheer wave in a rock concert. It does feel really silly if you're the only one doing it. Well, I guess I would be spending some money for getting better cards, because I already felt that there's a lot of cards missing I would be using, and fees like monthly amount. Well, monthly amount I think from 2 to 10 euros maybe, depending if there's any tournaments going on. Having a monthly fee doesn't feel that good, but because if you're having a major tournament, I would be spending a lot more money than in a month that there's only one tournament or like some minor tournament. I was a little bit confused, but might have been due to me not remembering all the tooltips from the beginning, and I really suggest that you add some kind of like mouse over tooltip to this one, which could be turned on and off. Least favorite moment? Well, maybe realizing that there's not that many cards to be played, and the one feature missing in every of the streaming services is that you don't have the statistics or the information bank, and you can't turn that on and off yourself. It's kind of bummer. Key improvements, I've been saying that the crowd and the whole UI used to be fixating on the game itself, and having the placements of the card information zone changed, and a more kind of interaction, and the ability to see the scores and see the card information, the statistics of the cards being used and having been used, and also the ability to, if you're gonna be using the crowd UI, ability to some sort of option to show your support for certain players, not just for the team. Well, obviously one thing missing, which I'm quite used to, is the chat. But if the crowd animation is replacing the chat, there should be a lot of more options for interaction with the crowd. But yeah, and well, obviously the statistics and the information screen is missing, but that's missing from every other place. But in my opinion, that would be the game changer, so to speak, because having that kind of feature would really satisfy me, and that would be the thing why I would start using this kind of software, basically. Otherwise, it was really fun. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I was helpful.